In this video, we're going to be covering dental burrs classifications. There are 5 ways to classify dental burrs. The first way would be according to the dental materials. Another way would be based on the type of shank, or this portion right over here that's labeled number 2, the shank of the burr. Another way would be the shape of the burr. That's number 3. That's right over here. This is the shape of the burr, and we'll go over it in a moment. The grit size, whether there is thicker grit or smaller grit, and the size of the head diameter, whether it's small or large. Let's take a quicker look again how to classify it. There are 5 ways, and here's the website, and here's a website where you can find out more information about Burs classifications. So the Burs could be classified by the type of the material. It could be a diamond material or a carbide, which we'll cover in a moment. By the shank could be smooth, or it could have a little point where it locks in at the end. By shapes, there could be a football shape, a ball shape, other shapes which we'll cover in a moment. By the grit size, whether the grit of the burr is wide, thick, or it's fine. This is just a breakdown which we'll cover deeper in a moment, and this is the website where you can find this information. And then lastly, by the head diameter, whether it's small or large. Now if we look carefully on part 1, the first classification by the materials, you could either have the burrs be made out of carbide, tungsten carbide burrs, and this material is becoming the replacement of older steel burrs. That's what they used to be. Tungsten carbide have 3 times the rigidity of steel, and they outstand wear resistance much better, and they're very durable. And the other type of material that could it be is diamonds, and diamonds is the hardest natural material known to man, and therefore the material of choice when it comes to wearing down the hardest tissue in the human body, which is tooth enamel, or the outer layer of teeth. Now diamond burrs have a steel shank, and that part, the active part, could be coated with either natural or synthetic diamonds powder. So right over here you see with a microscope the diamond is powdered onto this shank at the head of the burr, and usually now only synthetic diamonds are used. They're much more available, and the natural ones are less available. Natural ones would be used when regular diamonds are going from rough to proper form. Any dust particles that are remaining, companies could use and put diamonds onto their burrs. But it doesn't matter. Either way, the final result is the same. And the cost obviously for natural diamond burrs would be much higher than synthetic. Now the next part, the next classification is according to their shank. Now the shank could be either smooth, and this part would be only grabbed onto, so based on friction. So it's called the friction grip. That's what FG stands for. And then FGL would be friction grip long. And then FGM would be friction grip mini. That's what the letters are over here. So we got friction grip mini, friction grip, and friction grip long. And as you can see, the mini is short. It would be here. The regular would be friction grip here, and the long one would be extended. The other type of burr classification is based on a contra angle, and this contra angle dental burr, the diameter is around 2.35 millimeters. That's not that important, but it's used for right angle handpieces and low speed handpieces, which we're going to show you in a second. And the last classification would be burrs for the head handpiece, and they're pretty long. Now what does all that mean? Well, take a handpiece. This is a dental drill. We call it handpiece because it goes into the hand, and this is a high-speed handpiece, and this burr without anything on it would be used for this handpiece, and that burr is for turbine handpieces. Turbine means in here in this little piece of the handpiece, you have a motor. That motor is called a turbine, and as it spins, it actually spins really fast. And right over here, we have the friction grips, different sizes of them, and it holds on to grabbing onto with friction, basically based on resistance of it coming out when you put into the burr, into the handpiece. Now, the other type of handpieces are either straight nose cone or contra-angle handpiece. Now, contra-angled or angled nose cones, this is the angled nose cone, adds on with a latch contra-angle, and latch simply means right over here, we're just going to skip the middle part for a second. Latch means this piece of the burr gets latched into this opening that's there. That's how it holds the burr. So this burr is designed for contra-angle handpieces. As you can see, friction grip is based on friction, and contra-angle is based on the latch, latching on into the handpiece. The last handpiece is a nose cone or straight handpiece, and that one also works on friction grip, but these burrs are very long, and both of these connect to a motor. Unlike here, there's a turbine. These have a motor that connects into it, and this one has a motor. This motor is inside in here also, but this one moves really fast. These move slower. Now, if you look at it, here's another example of a contra-angle handpiece. It just, this one has more friction to grab onto the hand. This one has no friction. It just got nice comfort pieces, and your fingers wrap around here. Now, the next classification is based on shapes. There could be ball shapes, cylinder shapes, inverted flame. This all is just explanations on how they look, but it'd be easier if you guys saw the shapes, and I wish this was taught everywhere. It'd be much easier to understand. Now if you look at this burr head looks like a ball, so it'd be the name of this burr would be a ball end or round end. This looks like a spear. This one looks like a flame, so this would be a flame one. This looks like a pear, so this looks like a pear. So it's called the pear handpiece. This is a cylinder hand burr. This is a pear burr. This is a wheel burr. This is veneers wheel burr. There's 3 of them. This is a double cone. This is a cone. This is a football burr. Now all of these, there's different ways to refer to them, but as long as you could remember the shape of the burr, and you could always go to this website and view all the burrs that they have, or go to any website on Google to find out what the burrs are. And that's basically the next classification was the shapes of the dental burrs. Then the next would be the grid size. So the grid size classification, and by the way, all these classifications are called ISO regulatory. That's the way the classifications were made, and these grid sizes are color coordinated. Now to make it easier to understand it, let's go look at a picture. Here's a picture showing you that the white, the yellow, the red, the blue, the green, the black, and the double black, all they mean is the type of diamond size that was attached to it. Now if you look at it, this one has a double ring, so it's a double super coarse. This is black is super coarse, and you can take a picture of this, try to memorize it. And these colors are standard to dentistry, and we'll cover in other videos other stuff that have the same exact pattern in which they go. But green would be coarse, blue would be medium, then red would be fine, yellow would be extra fine, and you could see how the pictures show the grids getting smaller, and then super fine would be white. And these diamond grids are very tiny, these are medium size, these are more bigger. Now the diamond grid sizes right over here, you could see that it would start from fine, it would be 10 to 20, and the extra fine would range from 20 to 30, and the fine would be 30 to 50. Medium is about 107 to 120. Coarse is 150 to 180. Super coarse is 180 to 250. And the double super coarse could be double that or even higher than 250. That's the grid sizes. Now, if you look at the next classification of dental burrs, it would be the head, or the size of the burr. Now, we're not going to go into detail, and this is just for you to read. You could pause the video, but this is how the sizes work. Sizes range from small and higher, and here's an example of a small one, and it increases in millimeters. Now, what's the interesting part is when you do get a burr catalog, they usually label it as 007, so it's 007, 008, 009, and all it means is since it's a 1/10, all you have to do is just imagine there was a decimal point and move it 1, 2 over, and it would be 0.5 millimeters. So 007 is a 0.7 millimeter size right over here, and 010 would be 1.0, and 1.4 would be 014. All you do is just move the decimal point over, and here's another example of different sizes. And as you can see, 168 friction grip, 168 friction grip, 169 friction grip, 170. All of these are different ones, and as you can see, the sizes go up. Now that we covered it, we could again take a quick look at the bird that we had in the beginning of the lecture, and you could see of the presentation that right over here we see the size is number 5, and the size says 114. And what does that mean? You move the decimal over 1, 2, it's a 1.4 millimeter size. So right over here 114 is 1.4 millimeter size. So based on this, we end our presentation and we'll do a quick review so you guys understand. When we said what it means is the first thing is to look at the material, either it's a diamond burr or carbide burr. Then you'd look on the shank and overall length, what handpiece it would be used for. Then the shapes, there's different shapes, you could spend some time learning them. The grit sizes from very fine to super coarse, and then the head size of the diameter. Remember, you just move the decimal point from 2 over, so 0.14 would be a 1.4 millimeter size. Thank you.